everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Power of Bold Living. I'm your host, Eileen Kelly, and today we are filming here in style at Bathhouse AQ3 Aruba. Thank you so much for having us. Today we will have a very interesting and informative conversation about LLC. How to purchase with an LLC, what you should know. So we have all the right questions and we have someone who knows this topic inside out. Welcome to Thayisa from Deloitte. What are the main reasons a non-resident might consider using an LLC to purchase a property in Aruba?
The profit tax rate in Aruba is 22%. So regardless if you make 1 million or if you make 1,000 guilders, you will only have to pay 22% over the profit.
Are there any limitation and requirement for non-residents should keep in mind when creating an LLC here in Aruba? If a non-resident plans to rent out their property, which we already a little bit talk about that, how does the LLC structure help them with managing income and expenses? So we just talked about the short-term renters, what they have to pay. So what about long-term rentals? Do they have to pay taxes as well? You have been doing this for so long, Thayisa. What are the main questions you get from clients and investors? So hi Thayisa, Kiko to Kiko.
Hi Eileen, all is well. Thank you.
Thank you for being here at our podcast. We have so many questions for you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I love talking about taxes, so I'm ready.
Yes? Let's get started.
Let's go.
Okay, so to kick things off, Thayisa, what are the main reasons a non-resident might consider using an LLC to purchase a property in Aruba?
Okay, basically we see a lot in practice that non-residents already have an LLC in their country of residence. So for them, it's easier to just purchase the property via or through their LLC. However, we also notice that they use it especially for asset protection, privacy protection, and with some LLCs, you can also have certain deductions that you don't have when you purchase it via or through an individual.
Personal.
Via a person. So those are some of the reasons that we see that they buy through an LLC. However, we do also notice that many of them, they purchase it via or through an LLC. And then they think, okay, my LLC is not registered in Aruba, so I don't have to pay any taxes in Aruba. And that's where we come in, and the tax authorities also come in, because since your real estate or your property is located in Aruba, then you're going to be subject to taxes in Aruba. So that is something to keep into account.
Yeah, I think this is one of the steps you must take before even buying in Aruba. Is very important to get in touch with Deloitte, with you, Thayisa.
Thank you.
So eventually we're going to put your email somewhere or your
Perfect.
information on the description so
Sounds
they can
good.
get in touch with you. And then you can give them, all of this information, what they should be known before they even buy.
Exactly.
And yeah, so they can move forward with their investment.
Exactly. And we usually have the first intake meeting is completely free of charge.
Okay.
So then they can come with their ideas, and we can come in with our tax knowledge and then
make it happen.
Make it happen. Yes.
So the next question is, how does setting up an LLC help in terms of asset, which you just talk a little bit, protection and liability management?
Yeah, so basically when you have the asset in the LLC, this is completely separated from your personal assets. So let's say if somebody would want to claim your LLC, then they cannot claim your personal belongings. So that's usually a separation of the goods or of the assets. However, in Aruba, we also have certain laws that you can't hide behind an LLC. So for instance, if you're a director and you're not paying your taxes and it's like gross negligence, then the tax authorities can come after you as a person. So you can't be hiding behind the LLC.
But
Yes.
why? Because I notice a lot of people like to do that, mostly
Yes.
because of, obviously, you can deduct a lot of things. But
True.
why is it interesting to buy through an LLC then? What makes it interesting?
It's also interesting because, for instance, if you have, if you're going to rent out your property and you're going to be making income, if you have it in an LLC, you will not be subject to the personal income tax, but the profit tax in Aruba. And the profit tax is a fixed rate of 22%.
Okay.
Compared to the personal income tax, it's a progressive rate. So the more you earn, the more you will pay taxes.
Yeah.
And that's an advantage to structure it through an LLC instead of through a person.
Okay. even when you do it through an LLC, for example, is it better also, for example, for family, if you want to leave it for a family member, or is it easier that way?
There are certain exceptions, but the transfer tax in Aruba is very black or white, and you can't really avoid the transfer taxes. So that's kind of complicated. But there are some tips and tricks though that you can maybe avoid paying the full amount. Again, especially if you structure it in the beginning already and not at the last part.
So that's why it's important to start
Yes.
doing your due diligence and asking those questions from day one. Okay,
Yes.
so the next question. Are there any limitation and requirement for non-residents should keep in mind when creating an LLC here in Aruba?
Okay, so in Aruba, we have two different types of LLCs. You have the first, I'm going to call it the resident LLC, and that's the VBA in Dutch. And this, you can incorporate it with one person, and you don't need a starting capital to incorporate it. And on the other hand, you have it's the corporation. In Aruba, we call it the NV. And for this, you need two incorporators. And you also need a starting capital of 50,000 florins, which is about $28,000. And another limitation is when you incorporate an entity in Aruba is that you're going to need a business license. And one of the requirements is that the managing director is a resident of Aruba.
Okay.
And the shares also have to be 60% and 40%, and the 60% has to be with the local, yes.
So this is what you do, right? You help them structure the company.
Exactly. So that might sound like a limitation, but we can definitely help and work around it too.
So what kind of services does Deloitte Aruba offer, especially for non-resident purchasing through an LLC?
Okay, so we're kind of like a one-stop shop. So if you come with your problems, we hope to help you from A through Z. Next to taxes, we also do financial statements, bookkeeping, administrative services. So basically, we want to provide peace of mind to the client.
Yeah.
So that they can come and we provide all types of services, and then they have peace of mind, and then they can just focus on their business.
So is Deloitte the same? You have Deloitte in Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, St. Martin, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
So is it the same? So let's say if a investor does have properties around the island, can they use one?
Yes, we do have different offices. So, for instance, we also have an office in Curacao with our colleagues there. So, we do fall under the Deloitte Dutch Caribbean, and we do provide services to all the different islands.
So, if they get in touch with you, you can do everything from all the islands.
Yes, and we also have, and that's maybe an advantage of Deloitte. We are considered a Big Four in the accounting firm. So with this, we have a broader network, and we have different colleagues all over the world, so we can also assist the client, even in their place of residence, with their taxes. And even if they're not with the Deloitte firm, we can also work with their firm in their residence as well.
Deloitte has been known for so many years.
So many years, yes.
So can Deloitte assist with the actual formation and registration of an LLC here in Aruba?
We do not do the actual incorporation, but we do have cases in which we assist the client by doing correspondence with a notary, filling out the forms. We're actually doing the dirty work for the client, so that we're like the middle person actually. And we also have contact at the bank, at the insurance companies.
You need to force to do all of that.
Yes,
you need to go everywhere, but the notary is the only one who can trespass the deed, can give you the deed of your
officially,
company.
exactly, yes.
Okay, so let's talk taxes.
Let's talk taxes.
The one you love most, and I don't.
That's why we're here.
Oh my God, I really don't. I need you, please.
Yes, be my guest. There are only two things certain in life: dying and taxes. So can't avoid it.
Cannot avoid it. Definitely cannot.
Can't avoid it.
It's like in your dreams.
Yes. And if you don't have it managed, it can be like a nightmare.
It can be a nightmare. So what are the main tax implications of owning a property in Aruba through an LLC?
Okay, so there are different layers of taxes. But let's say you want to buy a property in Aruba and you're going to use this property for like your home away from home. then you will have to be paying property taxes. This is a fixed rate of the value of the tax. Annually, you have to pay this at the tax authorities. You also have the long lease. And let's say you buy the house and you think, maybe I just want to flip the house. So I renovate it, I sell it immediately after. Then you also have some tax consequences in the profit tax because the capital gains will be taxed.
Okay.
And
It's
lastly,
only because you're doing the flipping, or is it with anybody?
with anybody. But however, if you buy a house as a person and you do the same thing, you flip, you renovate, and you flip it, and you sell it, the capitals will not be.
Oh, so it's only
It's
only for
in the
LLC, only for business.
yes.
Oh.
Yes. So that's a difference. So that's when the client comes to us and we actually ask them, okay, so what are you planning to do? Do you
Okay.
want to flip it? Do you want to this your vacation home? Because it has different consequences.
Yeah.
And again, if you can structure it via an LLC, but then if you flip it, you will have
Have
to pay
capital gain on
yes,
it.
yes.
So you have to kind of see which battle you will take,
Definitely,
because if
definitely.
you do it personal, then okay, you don't pay anything, but then you have to pay
Exactly.
anyway taxes, income taxes, right?
Exactly,
Or not? Do you have to
exactly.
pay the income taxes on that amount?
You will have to pay that on that amount, yes.
Okay.
And but for instance, if again you have a real estate and you decide to rent it out, then you also have other taxes that will be applicable. So you will have the turnover taxes, the tourist levy, the environmental taxes. Those
Which-
are the monthly taxes.
Yeah.
Usually the property managers
Yes,
do that. And sometimes they ask us also to provide that service.
That's really important.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I don't know if when you rent through Airbnb they already charge you some of the taxes. It's in the well, that's a good thing
yes,
to
that's
have. If not,
definitely-
they have to go to you.
Exactly.
They have to go to
yes,
Deloitte.
yes. And the thing is, the tax authorities usually they send out a form,
Yeah.
and it's completely in Dutch, and then the owner receives this, and they're like, oh, but I'm not. I don't think I have any. I don't think I have to pay any taxes in Aruba. And then they don't fill out the form, and then a year pass, 5 years pass, and
Then
then
there's a problem.
the tax authorities comes and they're like, hey, you didn't do anything. Even if you didn't earn anything, you'd be required to fill a nil return. And sometimes we see hefty penalties,
Yeah.
and it's a constant battle between the tax
So-
authorities.
So I think the step will be, first of all, when you're going to buy through an LLC, go to Deloitte, check everything, and
Yes.
then what will be the next step when they buy a property? They say they went to you,
Yep.
they know everything, they go and buy the property. What will be the next step for the client?
We usually check if they're already registered at the tax authorities and also at the Chamber of Commerce. So once they are registered as a foreign entity, they also have certain requirements. They have to pay the annual fees. They have to submit their annual financial statements and shareholders registers. So that is also something that we keep on reminding them. They do have those requirements as well. And at the tax authorities on a monthly basis, again, if they're renting out, the monthly returns, the turnover
You have
tax.
to do. You have
yes.
to. But then, how do they register? Do they do it themselves? Do we do it through you? How does it go?
Sometimes the notary registers the LLC or the natural person, and they receive
A number.
a tax identification number in order for the transfer tax to take place. And
So the LLC has to go to the notary.
if you incorporate it, yes.
But okay.
But you have again the foreign LLC.
That's what I'm talking
and
about. The
yes,
foreign.
the foreign. It would
Uh-huh.
have to go to a notary for the transfer of the property to take place.
Okay,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
the registration to the foreign will go through the notary as
Through
well.
the notary, and usually they register it at the tax authorities,
Okay.
and they receive this.
When they transfer the deed, they get that.
They get the number, and
Okay.
then usually they're registered for all types of taxes.
Yes.
And again, if you're not going to rent out your house, but you keep
I don't think a lot of people knows that.
Yes, a lot of people don't, and they come to us usually when it's late, when they have a
Uh-huh.
list of penalties. But we really try to inform them that, hey, just because you have an LLC outside of Aruba, but your property is located in Aruba,
Yeah.
so you have to pay
The taxes.
you have to pay taxes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
That's good. to know.
Are there common tax mistake non-resident investors make, and how can they avoid them?
Okay. I think we spoke a little about it. Is the first one is not really knowing what they're going to do in the future. So they come here on vacation and they're like, oh, I love this property, let me just buy it. And they buy it, and maybe they structure it via an LLC, but then they want to flip it, and then it's like, okay, but you have an LLC, so you're going to pay profit tax over the capital gains. So those are the little things usually that we see that if the client would come like before, it could save them a lot of taxes and also stress. So that's one of the things that we usually see. And again, the misunderstanding to think that even if I have my property in Aruba, but I don't live in Aruba, I don't have to worry with taxes. That is very, very common mistake that we see.
Yes. I think this is a really good episode, so you can learn from this.
Definitely.
Because I know a lot of people who buy through an LLC, and this is something they should be know at first.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
So okay, so if a non-resident plans to rent out their property, which we already a little bit talk about that, how does the LLC structure help them with managing income and expenses?
Okay, so with an LLC, you have certain deductions that do not apply. For instance, if you buy it as an individual, so those deductions can help lower the income as well. And also with an LLC, you have a fixed tax rate. So the profit tax rate in Aruba is 22%. So regardless if you make 1 million or if you make 1,000 guilders, you will only have to pay 22% over the income or over the profit.
Over the profit. Do you think we can get better on that?
I hope so. I hope so. We went from 25 to 22. So
Please, let's go to 18.
there's room for improvement. Definitely, definitely.
That would be amazing.
Definitely.
Does Deloitte also help with rental income reporting and bookkeeping?
Yes, we also help the clients with those types of issues. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So next question. What would you recommend to someone considering investing in Aruba but unsure whether they need an LLC or another structure? I think we already touched base on that, so let's move on.
Yeah.
At what stage in buying process should an investor come to a professional like Deloitte?
Okay, I think as soon as they visited Aruba, they had an amazing vacation and they're discussing, maybe it's a good idea to buy property in Aruba. I think that would be a key moment to already consider like, maybe I should make use of the intake meeting, the free intake meeting at Deloitte.
But it's not only buy a house, but also if as an investor, or someone who wants to open a restaurant,
a business, exactly.
Whatever. If you want to go through a big investment, I think one of
the first steps would be just to make use of the intake. Let's discuss, let's brainstorm.
You're flexible as well. You can meet them every day. If they cannot come, you're open to meet them or so Zoom.
Yes.
Nowadays, we have all... There's no excuse.
There's
everything to meet.
Yeah, no limitations.
No limitations.
So we also work in the time zone of the client. We do Zoom meetings, team meetings. So we're not limited, but that would definitely be a recommendation before you start. We can help planning because usually once the structure is already set up, it's much more difficult. And then if you want to transfer the property, then you would have to pay transfer tax.
So if you do it from you can save money. But you have been doing this for so long, Thayisa. What are the main questions you get from clients and investors?
I think the main questions would be especially how to pay less taxes and also just to have something that is safe and money making. So we usually, again, nobody likes to pay taxes.
Yeah.
So again, we do keep the structure according to the legislation, but we can manage to make them pay less. And also avoid double taxation because usually if they have a property in Aruba and they're paying taxes here, and they're also paying taxes in their country of residence, maybe they're going to be double taxation, and we usually try to work with them to prevent this.
Yeah, that is something that I really don't understand. Why should we pay two taxes?
Two taxes.
I always thought that you can only pay one-time tax, but it's not like that.
In principle, it should be like that. So usually in your country of residence, you're going to pay taxes over your worldwide income. And if I'm making, if I have my source income in, for instance, the Netherlands, then I would have to pay taxes in the Netherlands and for that income that I generate in the Netherlands and taxes in Aruba. And then I would have to receive a a credit or a deduction because I'm paying taxes in both
Yeah,
countries.
but that
And
never
that
happened,
that
right?
takes a while. That takes a while. Some countries have it
Yes.
better managed, but it's a challenge.
Yes.
So,
What do you think can improve that makes it more interesting for an investor in Aruba?
in Aruba, I think we could definitely use more incentives. We
Yeah.
used to have a lot of more regimes and incentives to motivate or to attract investors.
From Aruba as well.
From Aruba as well,
Yes.
yes. And I just saw that they're talking about the business license that they're going to change this or to make it to avoid the
Easier.
red tape. I think those things definitely help because Aruba is an amazing island. We have
Yeah.
beautiful beaches, stable economy, the tourism is booming, so it's a nice opportunity. Just certain incentives would be better.
Give me like two. I know I am asking too much.
Maybe we can lower the profit tax to
Yeah,
18%.
I think we already say that.
Yes,
That's one for
yes,
sure.
yes.
18, please.
18, yes. Maybe that's one. And also different legislations for residents and non-residents. Again, Aruba has to receive their fair share, so that
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
But again, there definitely room for
Yes,
improvement.
because we have so many young entrepreneurs as
Entre-
well that wants, and in the first 5 years of having a business, it is so hard.
Difficult.
You know, and
Difficult.
to grow is not that easy.
No,
And
no.
giving them incentive,
Exactly,
us incentive, because all
exactly.
of us are
We're-
young entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
Can push us to get
Exactly.
bigger. And imagine Aruba's own companies getting big. That's amazing.
That's
And
amazing.
that's what's happened with U.S. or
Yes.
bigger companies, bigger countries.
Yes.
That the companies can grow fast.
Exactly.
In smaller island, it's more difficult.
Exactly. And I think if you have more incentives, the younger generation would be more daring as
Yes.
well. Because now we have like a stable pillar, which is the tourism. But who knows if if you have the younger generation thinking outside of the box, who knows what types of ideas they would come with.
So many talents. So
Definitely.
many talents in Aruba. It's just what is stopping them, or it's just when they start, maybe it's so much things and they cannot handle it and it doesn't go through. So making
Exactly.
it that easier for our entrepreneurs is a
Definitely.
great way.
It would be a nice incentive. Yes.
Okay. Are there any upcoming regulatory changes that buyers should be aware of before making their plans?
At the moment, there's not anything concrete on paper. However, there are certain talks with regarding to the business license that they want to adjust this to make it to remove the red tape. So they are talks. The director of the tax authorities announced that they are talking about maybe introducing a tax on wealth. We currently don't have this in place. They have it in the Netherlands. But they're talking that maybe it should be introduced in Aruba. So that is something to take into
Is
account.
that good?
It's well, it's more taxes to be paid.
Yeah.
And I understand again that Aruba is trying to find their fair share.
Yeah.
But again,
But then
you
how
can't
can they grow? How can a
exactly.
company grow? If
Then you have to
or
have
even
incentives.
business, yes.
So you can't, in my opinion, you can't be taxing without giving incentives. It has to kind of go hand in hand.
a balance.
A balance, yes. And I also heard that they're trying to regulate the Airbnb a bit more. But again, there's nothing concrete. So
How do you think, that can be regulated? And you see it from another perspective because
Yes.
you're going to help people do their taxes, etc.
Yeah.
So how can this be controlled?
I wonder. Usually, first it was a challenge to even know who is renting out an Airbnb in Aruba because there was no control. And we used to think that maybe when they enter Aruba at the customs, they would fill out their address, and maybe with this info, the tax authorities can check. Okay, so at this address, people are staying. So maybe Airbnb. But it's very difficult to regulate,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I would think that the tax authorities or the Aruba Tourism Authority would have to talk to the platform itself, the Airbnb platform,
Maybe.
and have like an agreement with each other that the Airbnb platform will be the one that is actually withholding the taxes
Yeah.
and paying it directly to the tax authorities.
Yeah, because otherwise it is very difficult.
It's very difficult, yes. And you have to kind of rely on the goodness of people that they're going to do the Airbnb and that they're going to fill it out because there's no control.
Yeah, because not or obviously you have locals doing Airbnb as
Yes.
well, and you have
Yes.
non-locals
Yes.
doing Airbnb,
Correct.
and non-resident when they do Airbnb, not necessarily the money is coming to Aruba.
Yes.
So how would that be controlled? Because you don't know
Exactly.
how many they're getting.
Exactly, and if the money is going through their bank account in their country of
Whatever,
residence, Aruba doesn't really see it,
No, so
except
it's-
if they're going to the customs and seeing the addresses. It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. I would definitely think if the platform and the tax authorities would have an agreement with each other, it would benefit Aruba more of getting their fair share.
Yes. Well, we hope that the text can be better.
Yes, of course.
I've seen it's been. At least it's been they have been doing better
True,
service. It's
true.
been
Yes,
it's
yes.
easier as well
Yeah.
to go there now to register
Exactly.
online. So it's easier now, but
Definitely.
still there's work to
There's
do.
room for improvement. They even went online with a lot of forms. So
Yeah.
the profit tax return, you can digitally fill it out. The personal income tax is still hard copy, so
Yes.
there's still room
Yeah.
for improvement.
Yes.
But they're doing a good job.
Yes, and there's more information nowadays than long time
Yes.
ago. So now you can just go into the website or
Yes.
just call someone in Deloitte
Yes.
or whatever. There's so much information
Yes.
nowadays.
Compared to back
5 years
then.
ago,
Yes.
you didn't know a
I
lot.
was like,
so you have
what
to
are
say, oh my God,
taxes?
everything is like Chinese.
Yes, and then you go there and it's like I don't get
I don't
a
get it.
meeting.
One is telling you this, the other one is telling
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
where are we going here?
And then you're like, you know what? I'm not going to do my taxes. I'll leave it up to here and we'll see. But
Yeah.
then you get the penalties and then
Yes.
it's a complete
Yeah.
drama.
So every month you have to fill
Fill
in your taxes, which is the
Yes.
BBO, which
The-
you can
the-
explain a little bit about that so people
Yes,
know.
the BBO is like a turnover tax in Aruba, and you fill it out for the previous month.
Yeah.
So on the 15th of this month, you fill it out for the previous month, and this is basically a tax on your turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Next to that, you have the tourist levy that you also have to pay, and the environmental tax as well. So
Yeah.
these are the monthly taxes, but this is only if you are renting out.
Yes. So we just talk about the short-term rentals, what they have to pay. So what about long-term rentals? Do they have to pay taxes as well?
Yes, it depends again who you are renting out the property with. So, for instance, if you're renting it out with a local, you are not, and you're renting it out with a local, and it's not it's their primary residence, and they're registered in Aruba, then you don't have to pay any BBO.
Okay.
But for all other cases, then you will have to
pay
BBO.
So you
Yes.
have to every month state that you got like $2,000 rentals, and you have to pay the 7% on top of it. Yeah.
yes.
You have the BBO, and then you have the BSV, which is
Yes,
both
it's-
are the same paper. But
Exactly,
yes.
exactly. In total, it's 7%.
Yeah.
So the BBO, BAZV, BAVP, it's in total 7%.
And then you pay that. You have to pay every month, and before the 15 people,
Yes.
don't let it go by.
Yes.
You get a fine because of that if you're late.
The penalty is automatically on the 16th if you didn't submit. And again, you can submit, but don't pay and don't submit. But for both of those, you have penalties. So
Yes.
definitely keep the deadlines in mind because nobody wants to be paying extra money.
Yes, nobody. Not me. for
No,
sure.
not me either.
Thayisa, it was such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you,
today
Eileen.
here at the Bath House.
Yes.
So nice.
Thank
and
you.
I'm so grateful. I've learned a lot. And I think someone that really wants to invest in Aruba, I think one of the first steps, again, I'm telling it again and again, because it's so important for you to be informed, to do your due diligence. Get in touch with Thayisa. She will guide you, and you're ready. Your next move is going to be, your next step when you're buying or investing is going to be cleared because of that.
Exactly. And again, we just want to give the client some peace of mind so they can focus on their actual business. And again, we're here to help. We're here to make the taxes easier, understandable, and again, you can also make use of our intake meeting, and we'll try to make it as easy as possible.
Oh my God, thank you so much again, Thayisa.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon again. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. I hope you learn a lot. And until next time, bye.